finally secured a government job as a bus conductor, complete with the salary and security he'd dreamed of as a child. But his assignment was a rural night route that the Transit Authority had kept completely decommissioned for a decade. His driver, a veteran named Bhairav, explained that the 10-year closure wasn't due to crumbling roads. The path was home to an active haunting, centered specifically on the stop known as the second bus stand and the surrounding jungle. Bhairav laid out 3 survival protocols for the shift. First, never step off the bus at night. Second, never accept food from anyone outside. And third, never report a supernatural event. Management doesn't investigate hauntings, they just fire the complaining employee. Survival on this route depended on unyielding workplace compliance, rather than traditional defense or exorcism. Initially, the protocols held. On one shift, a woman with backward-facing feet boarded the bus. By ignoring her and refraining from issuing a ticket, the crew remained safe until she leaped out of the vehicle and vanished into the trees. The bus interior acted as a pressurized safety zone. At the second bus stand, a thick white smoke gathered, pressing against the windows as if searching for a gap in the seal. The barrier finally broke when Abhijit's own body failed him. Medication for a minor illness, combined with the crushing weight of the night shift, left him dangerously drowsy near the bus's folding door. He drifted off for a split second, leaning his weight against the door. The mechanical latch gave way, dumping him onto the asphalt of the second bus stand as the bus pulled away into the fog. Supernatural traps are passive until a victim crosses the threshold. By falling out of the bus, Abhijit breached the perimeter and entered an environment where the laws of physics were no longer functioning. The safety of the bus was gone. Abhijit was alone, standing in the center of the dense, fireless smoke. He attempted to escape by running in a straight line down the main road, heading toward the distant streetlights of the next town. But the geography was severely distorted. The distant town lights resolved back into the exact same bus stand. The road was a closed loop. Every direction he took fed directly back to the epicenter of the trap. The road simply fed him back to the center of the stand, rendering physical escape impossible, and turning his biological instinct for flight into an endless cycle. With physical escape cut off, the trap began manipulating his perception. From the bus, the entities wandering the stop had appeared to be ordinary villagers. Up close, they were revealed as faceless, mutilated figures, missing lips, eyelids, and skin. The space quickly escalated the psychological pressure. Abhijit heard an engine and found his bus waiting in the mist, only to find an illusion of Bhairav dead in the driver's seat with his chest violently opened. Desperate to hide, Abhijit retreated into the bus stand's bathroom, finding a physically impossible mountain of human skulls and bones filling the room. These entities did not need to physically attack him. The trap is designed to weaponize a victim's own senses, shattering their sanity through a barrage of impossible visual horrors. Abhijit sat against a wall, completely defeated. The ghost of a young girl approached him with a newspaper full of snacks. Because he stubbornly followed the protocol to refuse the food, the entity offered him the only available way out. This diagram illustrates how the trap manipulates the senses. Open eyes only process the environment's projections. To find the exit, stop looking and start listening. He had to disregard visual data entirely and isolate the true auditory signal beneath the noise. He closed his eyes. Immediately, the visuals of the fog and the corpses vanished. He focused until he heard a faint, rhythmic humming, the sound of the real bus engine idling nearby. Keeping his eyes closed, he walked blindly toward the noise. He reached his hands out until they made contact with the cold, solid metal of the bus door, allowing him to step inside. Escaping this environment requires a total rejection of visual input. To survive, Abhijit had to disregard every horror his eyes were seeing and commit fully to a blind walk through the darkness. The nightmare ended when he opened his eyes inside the cabin. Fluorescent lights flickered, and Bhairav sat in the driver's seat, perfectly alive. While Abhijit had experienced hours of psychological torture, Bhairav confirmed he had been outside for less than a single minute. The haunted space had stretched a 60-second accident into a long-term ordeal. Abhijit stayed on the route for 3 more months. The government eventually decommissioned the night route permanently, not because of the hauntings, but because the lack of ticket sales made it unprofitable. Some environments operate on entirely broken physics. Surviving them doesn't require bravery, it only requires knowing the rules and having the courage to close your eyes.